Okay, what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system, like used to track and manage changes in files and source code. And also it helps developers to maintain different versions of their code and work efficiently as a team. Okay, and what it in briefly what we can say, Git tracks code changes, Git maintains version systems, developers can work on same project, and we can go back to previous versions when required. It is kind of like in local you can do all these steps. So what is GitHub? Which is GitHub is a cloud based basically platform used to host and manage Git repositories. It allows developers to store their code remotely and collaborate with team members. Okay, so like Git works with your code locally, while GitHub provides a remote location where the repository can be stored and shared. Okay, let me show you what does actually mean. Let me open the browser and type Git GitHub. Okay, click on sign in. As you are a new member, we need to create the account. Create an account, email address, provide the password, username. Username should be unique. It will give some suggestions, like based on that you can select that country and create account. Once you create account, it will look like so. Since I have already created the account, I will click on sign in and continue with Google. So I have Gmail ID registered already. So here is the main page of the GitHub. So now let's create a repository. So this is all a remote repository where we have in GitHub. Click on create repository. Click on create repository, enter name git-demo. In description, we can provide the message Git and GitHub practice repo and choose the visibility as public. Rest, you can add a readme file where you can maintain the details, like what is this repo used for. All these details you can maintain here. Create it. Okay, create it. So you can see remote repository has been created. Now remote repository has been created. Let's go to local. Local in the sense in your machine. This is a Linux machine. Verify whether Git is installed or not. Git hyphen. So this is the command to verify the Git version. Enter. So there is no Git installed in my system. Okay, normally you can search in Google. You can see here, you can download the Git by this. Once the application is downloaded, you can install within the Windows system. Once it is completed, normally I am using Ubuntu Linux, so I can run a command called apt get install git -y. In real time, it will not ask for yes or no value parameter to install automatically. Enter. As expected, we are getting permission error, like normal user cannot install any software. So let's up arrow and sudo, enter. It will ask for the password basically if you are entering first time. So sudo means it is a root access, it will ask for the password. Just enter the root access password, then it will install the Git. So Git is already installed by this command. Now let me check the version. Enter. So 2.4.3 version has been installed in my system. Okay, now let me go to a remote repository which we have created. Just click on this clone code, So this is the URLs where you need to download, I mean, clone this remote repository to your local to align with your local. So just take the HTTPS URL, copy, paste, and git clone, enter. ls-l, so rm-r. Clear. So already there are folders present in my system. So just I'll do up arrow, enter. Okay. Now you can see git.demo has been cloned to your local system. By this, what happened? You have established connection between your local system and remote repository. How to check that? There is a command called git remote-v, enter. So there is not a git repository. Why? So to do this, first of all, we need to do git init, which will initialize. Git will initialize means that will create a .git hidden folder which will maintain all the configuration of Git inside it. Its configuration is a hidden file. Like hidden file, how do you identify? It will start with dot. So here, if you see, to check the hidden files, the command is ls-la. Now here you can see there is no .git. So whenever I do git init, enter. Okay, up arrow ls-la. Now you can see it installed, right? So let me do ls-l. Now let's go to git demo, enter, and ls-l, la. So as I said, how to verify that your local system has been connected with a remote GitHub, which is this one. So as I said, how you verify that whether your local system is connected with a remote repository, which is GitHub. So just we have command called git remote-v, enter. So this is the URL where a remote repository is present, as I said, this one. Okay, and this is the alias name, origin. So you can keep number of alias names which will map to that URL. Fine. Now let's ls-l. So while creating a remote repository, we added readme file, right? So it has been cloned, that also. So this is the readme file. Now we will do the test. Like first we will create the sample file, sample.txt. Enter ls-l. Sample.txt has been created. Let's inject some value, I mean sentences into that sample.txt. Welcome to R2B Vibes. Git course. So we need to append this message to sample.txt. Fine, enter. So to verify that, we have cat sample.txt. So what is this command? It is a Linux command. Basically, we have covered all the Linux in my previous videos. Please go through that. So to verify the message has been injected into sample.txt, just cat it, enter. So you can see the message has been placed into this sample.txt, right? So now let's verify the stage, like what it is in. So just there is a command called git status, sample.txt is in working stage. So what that mean? So in Git there are three types of stages. One is working area, staging area, local repository, and remote repository. So what is working area? Currently, whenever you are creating any file or any modification happen to that file, it will be or push to the working area as shown in the picture. So then once to push that file to staging area, we had command called git add sample.txt, enter. Now let me verify git status of it. Now it is a new file. That means it is pushed to staging area. Fine. Then to push to local repository, to move that file to local repository, we have command called git commit -m. -m here is an option to pass a message. Added sample.txt as a new file. Enter. Now it has been pushed to local repository. So whenever I do git status, enter, so I cannot see that. That means it is already present in local repository. Okay, this is how you move from working area to staging area to local repository. From there, you need to push to remote repository. So how do you do that? So we need to push that to remote repository. Just type git push, enter. It is asking for username. So let me grab that username from remote repository. Enter. So let me enter the password. Okay. Now you can see that it is an invalid username or token. So basically, when we push our code to GitHub using HTTPS, GitHub no longer accepts the GitHub account password for Git operations. Instead, we can authenticate using personal access tokens. So I'll show you how to create the personal access tokens. Click on your profile, click on settings. In settings, we have click on developer settings. Here you can see the option called personal access tokens classic. Generate a token for general use. So you can give GitHub token. Okay, expiry date will be, so always choose wisely, like it should be very less. So I'll just select 7 days repo and click on generate token. Okay, so once the token is generated, please save it. It is a one-time token generated. Again, you cannot find anywhere in the GitHub. So save it and just click up arrow, git push, and we will grab that username, enter, and the paste. Okay. Now you can see once the token has been placed and the code has been pushed to remote repository. Let's verify that. Okay, let's verify that. Now you can see sample.txt has been pushed 11 minutes ago. Refresh this page. 11 minutes ago, sample.txt has been pushed. Content is same which we have in local. So let's modify this file again in our local. ls vi sample.txt, enter, insert. We have successfully committed one file into remote repo. Escape :wq, enter to save that file. As I said, before we are changing anything, it was in local repository. Again, we did some modification, so it will move to working area. To verify that, git status, enter, see modified. If it is a new file, it will show a message like new file. If it is modified, it will show modified. Fine. To move from working area to staging area, we have command called git add sample.txt, enter, and from staging area to local repository, git commit -m and the message modified the sample.txt. txt file, enter, and git push, enter. Again it is asking for username, enter, enter. Okay, so since we have successfully pushed the file, so let's check whether that file is pushed or not. Refresh this page, remote repository, and verify the changes. We have successfully committed the first file in remote repository, which we have changed in your local. Okay. So as you can see, the file that we have created and modified in our local repository has been successfully pushed to our remote repository. So like this is remote repository, and we have first created this remote repository with git demo, and we have by default created the readme. We have cloned to our local repository, which is our local system, Linux system. Then we have installed git here, and we have created one file which is sample.txt and injected some message into that and pushed to that remote repository. Later again we have made some modification in sample.txt. This line, whenever we modified, it came to our working directory, and later we added to staging area. We committed to local repository. From there we have pushed that file to remote repository. Yeah, this is how like we can add your separately files from your local repository to push to remote repository.